No, they can't get you back. No, no, they can't. No, they can't. No. Oh,
What's going on, guys? It's Arsenal versus West Ham. Big day today, guys, and it's an even bigger day for Mikel Moreno. So team sheet news, which is over here, is going to be Ray in goal, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba, and Calafiori. I did say in the pre-match on the forum that I think that this should be a game that they rest Miles Lewis-Skelly and bring in Calafiori and Jorginho. Resting's difficult though, guys, because they've just had a long break in Dubai, and it's been 7 days since their last game, so against Leicester. So I think it's difficult to talk about rest because we were playing every 3 days, and that is now gone. And the players now, especially Thomas Partey and Ranieri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, have had plenty of rest. So there's nothing to do with tiresome, but I think rotation is key. And that's the reason why I did say Calafiori and Jorginho should start today, because there's no point in having a squad when you're not using it. Like I said, it may not mean anything to a lot of people, but it takes 72 hours to recover from stress, muscles and bone. That is basically what the doctors are saying. And essentially, giving players a rest helps them, and it doesn't compound the issues of all these injuries that every team's getting now. Doesn't matter whether you're Arsenal, a lot of teams are suffering massive injuries, and it's simply the fact that there's no winter break that doesn't help at all. But on to Moreno. Midfield, again, Odegaard, Partey and Rice, but up front they've dropped Raheem Sterling. Now, I'm not going to really say too much about it. I just don't think it's going his way. He can't buy luck at the moment, and I'm going to just still be there supporting him because we need him to perform. We need him in a good place. It's just not working out for him this season, and that breaks my heart, guys. But I'm just going to leave it at that, really. I don't want to delve too much into it because I don't want to get cussed. So it really is about Moreno, and it really was about today's, whether he was going to start, whether he was going to come off the bench against tired legs. And I think the whole mix of this is, look, first of all, always play your hot hand. So don't let somebody bloom and then just cut that off at the head. It doesn't help. When someone's on a streak or when someone gets hot, you play it. It happened with Jesus. Remember, we played Jesus in a cup game. He scored a hat-trick. When the league game followed the next time, what happened? He scored 2 goals. So it's very easy to say, yes, I'm going to go the status quo and put him back on the bench, but it's difficult because if the player is in a good place and the confidence is high and the team rallies around them, then it could pay dividends, as I said about Jesus. And with Moreno, the hope is today is that he has a good game, and that's all that we can talk about goals, you can talk about assists, but the fact is you just want him to come out and have a good game against a decent defense and a team that's underachieving at the moment. They're also riddled with injuries, West Ham. But for Arsenal, they're going with Moreno up front, and they're going with Trossard on the left and Ranieri on the right. So I think that that's the right thing to do. So we'll have to see how this thing works out. I'm still going to go for a 3-0 Arsenal win. I'm a bit bullish today because of the fact that West Ham are not at their best. But yeah, lots of things in terms of expectations for this game. And Liverpool, well done Villa for holding them to a point. It really gives us the chance now to jump back into place and rev this thing up. And look, if midweek game goes really well, then the title could be in our hands, because then the gap would have closed to a point where it's 2 points, and then that's us really going to Anfield, right? We all know what happened there in 1989. So I think it really goes to show how close this thing can be. And regardless of the form, the fact is, guys, Arsenal are on a 15-game unbeaten streak, which is the most Arteta's ever had. And so a lot of people are dooming and glooming the situation, and quite frankly, there's no need for that. You're talking about in one of our most injury-hit seasons, Arteta is still 15 games unbeaten and still challenging for a title. That's in your most injury-hit season. So I think that, guys, there's nothing short of saying that we should be getting behind this team, because they were in a position and playing some decent football considering the situation that they're in. There's just no time to be down on the team, guys. You know, I see some people saying we're not going to make it and it's going to capitulate. It hasn't now. We're in a good place. And Champions League's coming up. And quite frankly, I think we got a better draw against Eindhoven. But it is what it is. Our path is going to be difficult, knowing that we've either got Atletico or Madrid. And then the second leg is always going to be away from home. Not an ideal scenario to be in. But we have to play the cards we're dealt. And that's the situation in regards to the Champions League. As most of you guys know, I've been really poorly over the last month. So I'm really struggling to get on to do videos. So I really apologize for that struggle for that, guys. I am working my hardest to get back to full health. Even this video, I literally had to stop it twice and redo it because of coughing fits that I've had. Yeah, really struggling at the moment. Not a good time of the year for me. It's normally around the winter time. It's my birthday next week as well. It's normally around the winter times that I'm really struggling, and I'm over medicating at the moment in order to compensate for that. But back to the game, guys. Yes, 3-0 is what I'm going for today. As for Graham Potter and West Ham, yes, he's made a couple of changes. He's got Oliver Scholes that's come back into the team. James Ward-Prowse, he's come back. But I still think this is a game that we're going to have to deal with. West Ham are no doubtly going to sit players at the back. They don't have Paqueta. Antonio's still out from the car crash. So I think they're going to come here and literally defend, and it's going to be us having 70% possession, trying to break them down. And what's important to that is Moreno hitting those aerial balls and his link play. That's going to be pivotal to what we do today. So yeah, 3-0 for me, and that's it. 3-2 guys at half time. Nice one, guys. Arsenal just devoid of ideas. They just look a bit lost out there, and there's hardly any penetration. The forward movement is very slow, and we're just not overall attacking the box. Now, a lot of crosses have been coming in from Trossard and Wanyeri, and there's hardly anyone attacking the ball from the midfield. You'd expect at least Rice, Odegaard, or even Partey to try and attack those balls. But it's just not happening, and I think the reason what's going on is you saw West Ham attacking once, and the one time that they really have started to cause trouble, both midfielders have been the ones that are getting the job done. And when you look at the first chance, it's Souček that gets his head to the ball twice, but the ball goes over the crossbar. So that's two danger warnings there, that West Ham are getting their midfielders into the box onto crosses. But then the goal eventually comes from exactly the same thing. Bowen running deep into the cross. Where was Gabriel? Where was Saliba? Just completely nowhere to be seen on the counter-attack. So it's just a mix of two things from both of the sides. Arsenal just lacking the numbers in attacking situations. West Ham making sure that they get those late runners in there. But apart from that, we're just not really getting anything done. The transition is really slow. I mean, Thomas Partey, really, he's the wheeler and dealer, and he's just got nothing on. He's constantly having to recycle the ball wide because there's no running through on the top end. As for Mikel Moreno, his link-up play is actually not too bad. 3 occasions he's actually been there heading off the ball to link off, but there's been, again, nobody running in from late who's trying to play the ball forward. So Arteta's got a little bit of work to do in the box. He's got to find some help from the midfield to go in there and try and pick up the slack that the forward line doesn't have. Very difficult game this. It's not a good situation to be in. Speak to you guys later. Hey guys, that's it. Arsenal lose 1-0, and to be honest with you, it was just such a poor performance in every single way. I talked to you at halftime about the goal, and the most disappointing thing about that was there was no sign of the centre-backs whatsoever. West Ham just played the counter-attack and filled bodies into the box, which is what we weren't doing. And it got slightly better in the second half. We had Zinchenko, first time he's been brought on as a midfielder, and you started to see some impact there, but they only brought Sterling on with 10 minutes to go, and then they took Wanyeri off. And quite frankly, the long and short of it is that you're going to need Liverpool to lose between City and Newcastle for you to have any type of hope of winning the title now. So as far as this goes, look, there's always a chance, but I think when it is put into your hands for you to do your job, you've messed it up big time. And the bottom line of it is, I mean, what really options did they had? They were devoid of ideas. They had no options. They had 20 shots and 2 on target. Guys, they shot the ball 20 times and only 2 were on target. And both of those that were on target was right through the middle. So it was easy for the goalkeeper to manage. And out of those 20 shots, guys, 10 of them were blocked. So 10, I mean, that's how embedded West Ham is. As at Arsenal were just shooting at brick walls. That's essentially what they were doing. Half of your shots were blocked. And so, look, I feel for the manager because he's got no options there to play with. He's literally got no options there to play with. He's playing with he's playing with a midfielder as a striker and a left back as essentially your second false nine. That's what he's been drawn to. And that's because you didn't go out there and get an Ivan Toney who nobody wanted. You didn't go out there and get a Victor Osimhen who nobody else wanted. So it's not like there was no one available. And regardless, you can say until you're blue in the teeth, they don't fit your system. But they're a body that can help. And something like an Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen, who no team in Europe was interested in signing, you didn't take that shot. And that's not on Arteta realistically. It's on the whole franchise. Because even when the man's been crying for help, Arteta's been crying and screaming and shouting for help, you've not gone out there and facilitated any type of support whatsoever. So, you know, the 15-game unbeaten streak was great, but all it did was kind of papered over the cracks that they had created years before. And unfortunately, guys, it's come to pass. And I can't really make up any excuse for that whatsoever. Like, you get back what you put in, and they didn't put in enough. And these guys need help. Arteta needs help. The players on the pitch need help. And there was just no help available for them whatsoever. Like, you've left it so bare, the cupboard is so bare, that there's nothing to draw from, and this is the result. Anyway, guys, it's on Man City and Newcastle now to try and take points off Liverpool in order for us to make the grade. And then we have to hope that Martinelli and Saka return in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's it. That's all I can say to you guys. Speak to you later.
We made it this far, so I can't complain. Let's take a trip down memory lane.